Fitin10 Nation, it is day 11 of the challenge, and you should have got your numbers yesterday. I sent each and every one of you your numbers, your new numbers. Almost everybody's numbers changed. There was an exception of just a couple of you, so if you feel like there was a mistake or something, you can let me know, but chances are there was not, although it has happened before. So if you got your numbers and they haven't changed, there are some of you, okay? So just to throw that out there. Also, be aware that your heart rate values changed, your interval numbers changed, and also your interval time, okay? This kind of is getting me onto the topic of, because I've had a lot of questions about this, a lot of people are not doing their cardio that I have them do as outlined. They're doing like different versions. Maybe they're doing a spin class, or maybe they're going for a jog. Certainly I don't want to discourage you from doing that, but I really would encourage you to get your cardio in that, at least matching the way that I've described, so that I know exactly what you're doing, okay? All right, I want to get to some of your questions because there's a lot of them, and so let's do that, okay? So, first, this isn't a question, this is just a comment actually. When you give me your feedback, I've mentioned this before, you've got to give me something specific that you're going to improve upon. Okay, again, saying that you're going to get closer to your numbers is not specific enough, because it just leaves it open for interpretation. Like, how much are you going to improve? Okay, saying you're going to work out harder in the gym doesn't mean anything. Okay, you need to be specific. Like, this would be specific. Last week I did, on my deadlifts, I did 75 pounds for 10. By the end of my last set, I found it quite easy. Like, I could have done a lot more reps. So this week I'm going to try 90 pounds, okay, for 10. All right, something like that. Be very specific on what you are going to improve, or else you don't really have to be accountable to anything. All right, determining the right food selection in MyFitnessPal. Okay, so I talked about this a little bit in maybe it was yesterday's video or the video before. So just be aware of this, because I didn't mention this, or at least I don't think I did. When you look at a specific food, and yes, there'll be multiple ones that are checked off, the default measurement for that food is not always the same. So I'll give you a really simple example, okay? Let's say we're looking up table sugar, okay? And you look up table sugar and you see table sugar, it's got a little green mark beside it. You look it up and you see that the default carb amount is 1 gram. So you go, okay, that's 1 gram. The default carb amount is 1 gram of sugar. Okay. And then you look up another one and you see the default carb amount is 5 grams. So you're like, well, what the hell? Why is 1 5 and 1 is 1? Because 1 is probably a teaspoon, and 1 is just literally weighing it out by gram, like pouring it in a bowl until you get a gram. Okay, so you've got to look at the measurement standards. Most of the entries have different, most of the entries for foods, they're going to have different standards. There's so many different ways and so many different, arbitrary, amounts you can give something. Something could be measured in 3 ounces or 2 ounces or, 50 grams or, which 50 grams is like, 1 3/4 ounces. So just be aware of this, okay? Something could be measured in cups, all right? So versus, grams, okay? Just be aware of that, all right? So if it's got the green check mark, it should be verified, it should be accurate. So pick the, and by the way, you can change most food items that are in MyFitnessPal. You can change the way that you measure it, right? Like, it gives you multiple options. So you might pick Let's use my sugar example, okay? You might pick the sugar and it's got 1 gram, and that's for, in this case, 1 gram of sugar for 1 gram of serving, okay? It's pure sugar. But you could change that. You could say, well, I want a 1 ounce. Okay, so now you're gonna get 28 grams of sugar. There is 28 grams of sugar in an ounce of sugar, okay? So you just have to go through and change the serving amount, serving size, or the serving unit, okay? Hopefully that makes sense, okay? If it doesn't, come and talk to me, please. If we fall short on our food, should we continue to eat? Okay, so I talked about this already. Make sure you get all your protein in, and then do your best to get the rest. I'm telling you right now, your calories will not change that much through this challenge, and I will keep giving you more satiating food, and you'll just tell me that you're getting hungrier and hungrier. So just be aware of that. Although some people are saying this to me, but their days are way over on their calories. So, you know, again, let's try to meet all the numbers day in and day out, okay? You know, if you overeat on one day, then yeah, chances are you're probably not going to be as hungry the next day, okay? The idea here is to get consistency day in and day out, okay? So I would try to push these days more. I'm sure you can do it. I'm sure you can, because I'm sure that you've overdone it many, many times, okay? LISS versus HIIT for fat loss. Okay, so LISS is an acronym for low intensity, why am I drawing a blank here? Why am I drawing a blank on this? It's basically low intensity cardiovascular work, okay? Versus HIIT, which is high intensity, you know, training. So, so really, what's better for fat loss here? Well, you know, when you do your HIIT, basically what's happening is you are you're burning more energy per unit of time, essentially, okay? When you average it out, okay? When you go through these higher intensity intervals, you're burning more energy, okay? Now, there's also an argument to be made that you are getting you're getting more EPOC, you're getting more of this excessive post-oxygen consumption. Steady state. LISS is low intensity steady state. That's what LISS stands for. Anyways, so, you know, you're getting this afterburn effect, kind of like what you get after when you weight train, okay? Only not to the same degree as weight training. You don't appear to get this when you do the low intensity steady state cardio, okay? Also, you burn less calories. So is one better than the other? I wouldn't say it's better. I mean, they have their pros and cons. I will tell you for sure that as a competitive bodybuilder, LISS was way better for me because it didn't take away from the intensity that I need to put into my weights. If I did a high intensity training, which, you know, I tried doing, I could not, I felt drained for my weight training sessions, even if they were separated apart. So, you know, but for you guys, I'm not really concerned about that. Like the intensity that that I was trying to hit when I was training competitively is something that takes a long time to sort of work up and appreciate. Okay. All right, how are we doing for time here? All right, so I wanted to get to more. I wanted to get to one more here specifically, but I don't have time because I want to make this video shorter. And it's already almost 9 minutes. Okay, message of the day. Success begins and ends with personal responsibility. Identify what needs to be done and take action. So remember, I want you to be as diligent as you can to follow the pillars in this challenge as closely as possible. So when I say 3 weight training sessions per week, that's 3 in the gym weight training sessions with myself or Kenneth or Martina. And that's all you need to do. You don't need to do more. You don't need to do less. You just need to do that. Okay? And when it comes to your cardio, it's 3 of the cardio sessions that I've outlined. You don't need to do more. You don't need to do less. You just do that. And when it comes to your food, you just need to meet your macros. All right? So just keep that in mind. All right? So it's still really early, and you don't expect much at this point in time. But you ask yourself, if you don't feel like you're making progress, and really it's too early to see the progress, so I'm going to say that right off the bat. But if you don't see the progress, ask yourself, how closely am I meeting the pillars? Okay? So, it's not it's just like taking a course in university, right? It's like just because you sign up for the course and you put in some work doesn't mean that you're going to get an A, right? It's like, what are you specifically doing what the professor or your coach recommends that you do, okay? So ask yourself that before you question your results, okay? But also be patient and give it some time. It's only been about a week, okay? Positive energy, positive vibes. As always, believe in yourself, and I'll talk to you guys all very soon. Come on, clicker. I'll see you guys.